David Crockett, king of the wild frontier. I can't hear it. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Who's on the mountain? Blows through here. Music goes round and round. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. We meet and the angels sing. The angels sing the sweetest songs I ever heard. Little wanna go home. Mama, look at boo-boo day. Shut your mouth, go away. Mama, look at boo-boo down. Hush your mouth, go away. When the moon hit your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore. But Amelia, could we have a little more volume? How you gonna hear a beat like that? I'm colored, but I ain't got that much beat. No, that was great. So let me see. Back to the testimony. Yes. Well, I remember I used to live on 108th Street in Central Park West, and we had a nice little stoop, and I used to go out there and play when I was a little girl. And I was out there playing on the stoop one beautiful day, and a little boy who lived in the neighborhood passed by, and he started teasing me. You ain't got no daddy, you ain't got no daddy, you is a ligament, you is a ligament. Well, after I punched him in his face, while I'm a New York kid, hey. I ran in the house and I asked my grandmother. I said, Grandma, what's this, a ligament? She said, sweetheart, that would make my knee hurt so bad. She said, now, little Mel, but what is you fussing so for? I said, that boy is a ligament. She said, sweetheart, the word is illegitimate. That was the first big word I learned growing up. Well, you see, one of the things nobody seemed to want to talk to me about was my daddy. I mean, like, where was he? Better than that, who was he? Anyhow, after going all around Robin Hood's barn and Dick's hat band, I found out that my father was a very famous jazz saxophone player by the name of Teddy Hill. Mm-hmm. Ooh. They know who he is, oh my God. But you might know who he is because he had one of the best known bands in the land. A lot of the jazz greats came through my father's band, like Drew Berry, Dizzy Gillespie, Miles Davis. My daddy made a record with Cab Calloway. But you know, none of that was what he was most famous for. He was most famous for owning and managing a nightclub that became the jazz mecca of America and the world, right up here in Harlem, called Minton's Playhouse. Mm-hmm. So, I had a father and I had a mother, but they were both far away chasing dreams of becoming superstars. Mother dear wasn't there to tuck me in at night, but Grandma was. Didn't have a daddy there with big shoulders to climb up on, but I remember being loved. I remember getting presents and picture postcards and letters from faraway exotic places like Baltimore. Philadelphia, Detroit. But Grandma was always there to take care of me. As a matter of fact, I used to call her Mom Number 1. I call Mother Dear Mom Number 2. Because Mom Number 1 did all those good old grandma things for me, like bake me up some good old cat heads on church for breakfast after church. And she would let me eat fried chicken for breakfast. And she was always sneaking me something sweet. Mother dear would say, Ma, all that sugar is going to rot little Melba's teeth. But Grandma would say, Melba, hush, this child needs some sweetening up. She would say things to me like, now, Melba, you pay attention to your grandma. You're going to be somebody. You're going to do great things in this world. I know you got dreams. Don't you worry about it. They're going to come true. She always went out of her way to make me know that I was loved. But you know, she's the one who taught me the songs of Zion. Yeah, taught me about the Holy Spirit. But you know, the circles of life go round and round and round. She was always there for me, but one day it would be my turn to be there for her. Grandma had a stroke, and I had to help her learn how to walk and talk all over again. And then it was my turn to sing the songs of Zion to her and soothe her soul with the joy of Zion. She sang me songs like, Rock of Ages, cleft for me. Let me hide myself in thee. Let the water and the blood from thy wounded side me flood. Free from sin, the double cure. Free from wrath, Lord, Lord, make me pure. And while I draw this fleeting breath, my eyes in death. And when I rise to was unknown, and behold, my God on his throne, Rock of Ages, cleft for me. Let me hide, Lord, myself in thee, Lord. Melba, where you at, gal? Now you better not to be hiding from me, you little womanish heifer, you. Come on out from under yonder. I got to comb that nappy cuckaball head. I ain't bit about more finna be up here all night fooling with you. I'm coming, Mama Lou, I ain't hiding. I don't want you to comb my head. You always hurt me. You know I'm tender-headed. After Grandma had her stroke, Mother dear hired Mama Lou to take care of me and Grandma. Mama Lou's full name was Lulu Bell Hattie Mae Spratley Hawkins. We call her Mama Lou for short. Mama Lou believed in the old African proverb that it takes an entire village to raise one child, and my neighborhood took that very seriously. Somebody was always hollering at me, telling me what to do, where to do it, and who to do it with. And the report back system in my neighborhood was worse than the FBI, CIA, and CNN. I mean, before you could get back from doing whatever it was you weren't supposed to be doing, everybody already knew about it. And you could count on Mama Lou, the incredible hook, to be propped up in the doorway waiting for an explanation. Close now, I never did get to explain nothing because she hit my side of my head first. After Mama Lou came to take care of me and Grandma, I got hit a lot. Especially she had been hitting that little bottle of Thunderbird. And she kept it stashed under the sink. She didn't think nobody knew. Seemed like to me I was always getting hit and beat and whooped and whooped and beat and hit and beat and whooped and whooped and whooped and beat. But I got tired of getting hit. So I decided I was going to write to Mother dear and tell her all about it. So one day, I got me a piece of paper and a pencil, and I went and I hid in the closet and wrote a letter to Mother dear. And it went something like this. Dear Mother dear, Mama Lou always be hitting on me. But Mama Lou caught me hiding in the closet writing the letter. And since she couldn't read nor write, she made me read the letter to her. Well, I fixed it up a little bit. It went something like this. Dear Mother dear, I like Mama Lou a lot. But Mama Lou wasn't all bad. She had what I might call her philosophical side to her. She would say things like, God sit high and look low. A hard head'll make a soft behind, and I knew what that meant. God don't don't like ugly. Well, I didn't know she was talking about her or me. Be careful what you pray for, you just might get it. And there were times where she really went out of her way to try to help me get over those long, lonely days and nights and weeks. I'll be missing my mother, no daddy. Grandma was an invalid. It got very, very lonely. And when Mother Dew was on the singing tours, she would literally be gone for months at a time. So my family was really quite lonely and dysfunctional. There were no other children around. Grandma didn't talk. There was only Mama Lou and her bottle of Thunderbird sometimes. But sometimes, I guess I must have been kind of really low in spirits, because I distinctly remember her saying things like, "Oh, child, ain't no use getting all down the mouth about things, honey. Come on. Let's us mose on in the kitchen, see what on the rail for the lizard." That means, let's go in the kitchen and see what there is to eat. So Mama Lou would mosey on in the kitchen with me right behind her. And sometimes she would get out some flour and some different ingredients and make up a little big pile of dough that she'd squish and push and make up into a big old ball of dough. Then she'd get out the rolling pin and roll it out real thin. And then she would get a saucer, and she would push the saucer down on the dough and take a knife and go around the outside of the plate. And she'd take the plate off and the outer edges of the dough. She had a perfect circle of dough. Now, into that, she would put some dried apricots or dried peaches. She'll fold it in half and pinch the sides closed. And then she would flip that into a skillet that she had heating with some margarine, because we didn't have no real butter. And before you knew it, we had the best old tasting pan-fried moon pie you ever wanted to eat. I was just fine then. And then, well, sometimes Mama Lou would go back in the bedroom and she would slip into her favorite old pink flannel nightgown with the men's wool plaid house coat over top of it. And then she would slide into her favorite old pair of beat up, broke down, wore out, tore up men's house slippers. Now the slippers was big, fat, and wide, because Mama Lou was big, fat, and wide. Well, she were. No. And kind of low down to the ground, low and wide. But let me tell you about Mama Lou's hairdo, her coif. First of all, it was about that long. And she used to kind of swipe it the way she wanted to go, because she didn't have enough hair to comb or brush. But what she liked to do was take a great big glob of Dixie Peach and smash it all over her head. You laughing because you don't know what Dixie Peach is, right? As before your time? Well, for those of you too young to know, it's this big, thick hair grease that you get. And you don't know this either, but we used to get it at Woolworth. We don't have that no more. Well, Mama Lou had so much Dixie Peach on her head, her eyebrows were shining. Mama Lou could light up a dark room. But then, she liked to get her favorite old cotton stocking cap. Now, don't act like you don't know what a stocking cap is. They might be made by Calvin Klein now, but you know what they is. But see, the thing was, Mama Lou would keep the stocking cap on her head, it seemed like for weeks and months. I couldn't figure out why did she always keep that stocking cap on. I finally figured it out. Mama Lou was giving herself the ghetto perm. She was straightening her hair without the perm. Then she would go to the windowsill and get just a pinch of her favorite Red Train dipping snuff. And she'd stick that between her cheek and her gum, and Mama Lou was ready to go. Well, I had my moon pie. Mama Lou had her snuff. And we was ready for a relaxing evening. If she was a mind to, she might heist me up under her big fat knee and rear back and tell me one of them good old stories like Red Rabbit or something like that. Ooh, they were good days. Her stories were always about the South. She delighted in recounting her days down on the farm. She was my connection to the South, although I'd never been any further south than Philadelphia. I had a Southern accent. She loved to recount her days of being down on the farm, shelling black-eyed peas and butter beans, and picking tomatoes and okra, and chopping cotton and bacon, and slaughtering them hogs so that they could have sausage and bacon and chitlins and tripe, pork rinds, pork chops, hog maws and ham hocks, pig feet, pig tail, yes, pig knuckle, pig snout, and don't forget baby back barbecue ribs. Mama Lou stayed with my family till the day that she died. And I guess the most important thing I learned from Mama Lou was what it was like to be born black, female, orphan, illiterate, absolutely and totally alone, shuffle from one sharecropper farm to the next, and then to graduate to domestic work. America and the world has been built on the backs of the Mama Lou's of this world. And so, Father God in heaven, I thank you for the Mama Lou's of this world. And now I'd like to close this part of the program with another one of those songs that Mother Dear loves so much. Come on, Amelia. The composer is Cole Porter. When our skies look gray to me and trouble begins to brew, whenever the winter winds become too strong, oh, well, I concentrate on you. When the doom cries nay to me, and people declare you and never the blues become my only sound. I'll concentrate on your smile, sweet, warm and tender. When at first we kiss, I declined, and all the while it was when I surrendered. And once again in your arms that even wise men can be wrong. I'll concentrate on you. I concentrate, and concentrate. Praise God. Yeah, but did you like it? Please enjoy yourselves. I'm going to take a little bit of a break, and the Lord's willing, I'll be back.
Another round of applause for Ms. Melba Moore. My goodness. So yes, we are going to take a 10-minute intermission and we will be right back, so feel free to just get some air, stretch your legs. I've also been asked to remind you that there are Melba Moore CDs for sale. They're $15 and she'll be happy to autograph them for you after the show. So we'll see you in about 10 minutes. Ms. Hold, please. That's Cornelius Ricks right there. That's Melba's right-hand man there. Let's give him a round of applause. Well, I'm told to stretch, so this is an opportunity that I was hoping I'd get to tell everybody how long I've known Mr. Cliff Terry, your music minister here at Mother AME Zion Church. Cliff and I met in 1980 doing an off-Broadway show for AME Repertory Theater. Anyone remember the name Rosetta Lenoir? Runslow on Family Matters. Well, she had a theater, and it continues to this day. It's called the AME Repertory Theater, actually the AME Musical Theater now. And in 1980, I moved up from Nashville, Tennessee, and I went to my very first audition at 104th Street East, and I got cast in a show called The Peanut Man. And The Peanut Man was the story of Mr. George Washington Carver.